his ultimate offensively, and they're going to end up being degraded to essentially a pick composition. Cuz still has his hand over his chest.
Yeah, he just seems to have it stuck there for the moment. The Karma was picked as an answer to the set. Top lane is now going to be into an Akali instead. Still a fine matchup for the Karma, as Coach Kim, well, Final Cannon himself are not going to be able to shake hands because, of course, we are scared of coronavirus. And we are going to move our way backstage as the coaches. And let's move into game number 1. Afreeca on our blue side. This is what they've drafted for themselves. The Taric, Kalista, Set, Elise, and Akali. Not a lot of top synergy in the 2v2, but Set will be able to get the face breaker to start off any sort of gank, and the Dazzle is going to be available from Jelly as well. So look to see Spirit gravitate more towards the bottom side of the map this game in the early stages.
Well, Karma, Olaf, Orianna, Misfortune, and Nautilus down there in the bot lane. This is about as basic as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
This is a white t-shirt and jeans right now on a T1.
Or black t-shirt and jeans.
Or a black t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, if you're a little bit more Johnny Bravo inclined, which I am, of course.
You just need sunglasses.
Yeah,
and you got Johnny Bravo down.
Yeah, basically. We'll need a complete outfit change as well. As we move into game number 1 between Afreeca and T1, Canna on the Karma towards the top side of the map this time around works very similarly to that of what you've been seeing running around in 10.3 in the Soraka. A bit of the Sona as well, which was nerfed a bit in this patch. The Janna was another option that we saw banned yesterday in our debut of 10.4. But in a similar vein is the more supportive champions that can have that range advantage against, most notably, the Set. But Fly will be the one piloting it as Keen has jumped towards the top side with the Akali.
Faker has Scorch on Orianna.
Oh no.
Which, for a team composition that doesn't need to get aggressive early on, and it wants to sort of operate as a unit, it's very surprising not to see the Gathering Storm, but...
That's alright, Teddy's a spawn, he's taking it.
Alright.
And Mystic's done the same thing. Kid buff
However,
times two,
Karma
helping out.
Up there in top lane with it.
Oh, we are sinning in the solo lane.
Yeah, we are absolutely sinning.
It's okay. Can't win them all. As Kuz here by himself is going to start off on his red buff. Cancels an auto attack there, unfortunately, so we are going to pan away from him and check out this top lane. Canna with 2 buttons available at level 1 is going to be happy trading here with Keen as he gets the summoner area off and cancels an auto attack for himself. See whether Keen can be his powered up self this game.
Yeah, we're not going to be having the Spell Thieves. And this is really nice. Karma has received some buffs in recent patches.
Yep.
And I know that we've talked about on the broadcast before that those buffs should make her eligible to come back into pro play to basically the same level of dominance that she had last year, ever so slightly. So, gonna be very surprising.
Well, we'll see how she does in this top lane, of course. It is a skewed matchup. Canna, a very new player, Keen, a very storied player there towards the top side, one that we always talk about when discussing the best top laners of the league. He's had some off performances so far, as speaking of off, Jelly throws a Dazzle into Narnia. Shout out to Egypt, hopefully on his way soon. Yeah, might just need to pop a potion and keep things okay as Mystic cycling the Rens pretty beautifully right now. Try and save this lane for the moment.
Also running the lethal tempo on the Kalista. And again,
even after the Hail of Blades buff as well.
Yeah, the Hail of Blades buff is really big. More so for top and mid Kalista.
Okay.
Than bot lane Kalista. As in the isolated 1v1, it's a lot easier. I do not believe that they saw each other. Oh, man.
Well, that's going to be the face check there from Kuz. The Spirit, a lot of damage. Jelly's going to get the inside track there as see Kuz trying to move on over. Spirit is going to go up into the sky, but pops down again, and First Blood goes over to Effort. And Mystic overextending right here as the Undertow flies through. A lot of extra damage as now Fake Up finds position. Not going to get the Command Dissonance to do any damage as these axes are going through 3 people every single time. And Afreeca are routed. The Make It Rain,
where
huge
is Karma?
damage.
I guess they're thinking that she's not needed.
Yep, flash, face breaker there from Fly as Teddy still has flash, gets over the wall with it. And this is still going. A dredge line to land there as effort. Going to give Faker that kill. A double now. Make that 3 as Cuz joins in the party. 4 for 1, the trade. And T1 gigantically in the head. In the lead super early.
It really feels like this game is... I don't want to say over, but for a team composition that needed to get ahead early. This is what I meant by Spirit handshook this. He knew that Olaf was around. Ended up landing, couldn't get the kill onto Cuz. Fly, not able to do anything there with the face breaker. Doesn't flash forward. He would end up just probably going 1 for 1. And at that point, they would get flanked.
This 200 health Olaf landing like multiple undertows over at least 2 people at a time actually did a whole lot of work.
Yeah. Really nice flash turnaround by Fly. Teddy maximizing his damage output best as he can. He came back over though for basically no reason.
Yeah.
Ended up dying for it.
So at least Mystic able to grab 1.
Now Faker, he has the Lost Chapter in mid lane. Refillable and Doran's ring. This set just can't sustain against an Orianna who is one of the best mid lane matchups into set because of her long range and
also,
because yeah, go ahead.
It's just the fact that Orianna accelerates so
Bit of
hard
a
if she
savant.
gets a lead, as well as that's the F word.
That's a freeze. That is a this is a very unfortunate situation here. Set though is one of the champions that sort of can walk up, get hit by the opponent, use the grip, but you can just see the effects of it. He's getting zoned out of so many minions. He's going to lose a cannon.
Yep, gets the experience for it, but that's all he's able to achieve. And as you can see, this cannon minion is just allowing Faker to keep this freeze here for as long as possible. Another 2 caster creeps are going to go begging. Misses that one, so melee creep also down. Faker misses a CS, but who cares, honestly?
Yeah.
He's able to just zone fly perpetually away from this lane.
And the other thing is that with Olaf in this team composition, the Orianna being as big as she is, the Karma, going to be having the Athenes and support utility Karma, going to be so good. Cleanse did get used.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty big deal here. Allows for Spirit to find ganks in this lane much more easily. It's Cuz max range cocoon there from Spirit. The Electrocute doing basically nothing though, as this is an Olaf that's 1-0 and 3.
Oh, I think they want to die.
Yeah, there's the shockwave. In goes Keen, looking for the backline. He's level 6 very early in this one, as now they're splitting their focus. Faker flashes the ult, and Keen trying to run away. Clockwork wind up working here, as the Triumph will get a double kill in for Cuz. 3-0-4, 100% kill contribution on the Olaf. And if you were calling it over before, it definitely is now.
In game number 2, Afreeca's going to really want to try to maybe approach the game a bit differently.
Okay.
With their draft. And I'm thinking that...
I don't know whether it's the draft necessarily, but maybe all of the whoopsies in the early game.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of oopsies, but they put a lot of responsibility onto themselves to get advantages early. Akali no ultimate.
Yeah.
Pay attention to Faker's mouse in this pro view.
Super sick on that flash.
No pull on the left-hand side. Said okay. There's someone in chat right now that's just wondering. He's like, I watch streams all the time, and no one uses FKs. I don't know what Faker's doing.
Yeah, they obviously... Well, just point out that if they have a Twitch Prime available, there is a certain stream that is really good to learn all about pressing F keys. Just don't watch it if you are inclined to any sort of epileptic issue, because the screen flashing around to all sorts of different parts of the map very, very quickly is certainly not something that you want to be putting yourself through.
These are waters I don't go to, Atlas.
But you do, like, it is like...
I go to the ship, but not...
I actually get a little bit perturbed by just the amount of boosting your APM that you do during your streams. But that's over at IMLS, by the way, guys, if you want to utilize your Twitch Prime to learn about F keys. LS is actually losing his mind over here. Are you okay?
I can't believe you're going here.
Well, I'm allowed to do it.
All right.
There's not a lot more that's going on here.
All right. Well, to the ship.
Yeah.
That's where we need to go, as Ocean Dragon is coming up second.
Yep, that's going to be the next one. First one being the Infernal. We may have the Dream, which is a cloudless game.
That would be the absolute dream. We've had 2 Cloud Souls tonight.
Yeah.
Which have been a bit of a letdown fly. Okay, we got action everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But the ultimate flying through from Teddy. Fair bit of damage onto Mystic, who's been crushing this lane, honestly. Over 20 CS in the lead. As this Tarek and Callista working out very well. Wandering over wards, though, so Spirit's location well and truly known, as Keen was thinking about a gank, but lots of vision in that river. Multiple pings, though, as now Spirit's going to try and sneak his way through this alcove towards the bottom side of the map. Ooh. Yeah, ulti. No. That was a shuriken backflip. Shelly is going to join the mid.
The really nice thing is that Karma, with the Chalice this early on, just already has magic resistance. Faker doing a phenomenal job CSing, getting all of the turret gold. Now, this isn't patch 10.5, so it's just by having the melee champion in close proximity does not grant you the extra gold.
Yep. Kaz also gets an extra plate for himself, so he will be very accelerated, looking to go towards the Spirit Visage as his next item, and there will be absolutely 0 healing reduction as well, so will certainly help out the Olaf a lot.
And I really like the GLP here on Faker with the Phase Rush, not just for the synergy with the rune, but also because the enemy team composition has such heavy reliance on trying to engage into you, but also your teammates want to stick when trying to dog them down.
Oh yeah.
So the item has insane amounts of value, also helps stifle the opponent's early game by just coming online sooner than that of Luden's Echo.
I mean, I don't want to, beat a dead horse or harp on about it, but I think the early game for Afreeca has been well and truly stifled at this point in time.
I don't even think it was alive.
Yeah.
I think that the reason that Cuz had his hand over his chest was because he knew what he was about to do to these people.
Just saying, please forgive me for what I'm about to do.
His heart was racing. He was so excited. And that was because he actually got a hold of the leaked script.
Yeah, okay.
From how the game needed to unfold.
And so he's also apologizing for that, because he already knew what was going to happen before the game began. I'm having flash. Did you watch the Da Vinci Code, or did you read the Da Vinci Code?
No, I didn't.
You know that there was that really devout guy who often punishes himself, as he was like one of the baddies that was tasked with doing all of the naughty things.
Yeah.
So he'd often punish himself. That's what I'm imagining Cuz was sort of acting like.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
As magical
atoning for his sins.
I like that.
It's Faker just punishing Fly underneath this turret, but he's able to take down all the minions at least before that wave takes down the turret.
And this is the thing about Karma in top lane, is she's just a neutralizer. You can't move her. She can sometimes move you, depending on the matchup. So, sort of like your mom growing up,
Yep.
She can tell you what to do, but not the other way around.
You certainly can't tell her what to do. That's how that one works. It's bullet time. We'll get a Fate's Call out of Mystic, who's now looking to try and take down the Olaf. He's got Flash available. Not going to get slowed just yet, as in goes Keen, diving on this fight as Canna has turned up just in the nick of time. Good knockoff is going to be in there as Canna's trying to get some shields out on the rest of the players. But that's the Akali going down. A solo shockwave will get that kill over to Faker. As now T1 have formed the phalanx, and effort goes golden in the front line. Fly to be taken down. The Haymaker not going to work this time around, and now Afreeca are scattering.
Yeah.
Yep, Dredgeline not going to do it. Yeah, Undertow lands there from Cuz. We'll find the next one also as Teddy cleanses, tries to find Mystic, but the last auto attack is not going to register. And T1 have a 4,000 gold lead and will take down the outer turret mid as well.
Oh man, and that is going to be another plate. First turret of the game being spread between the two T1 Titans, Faker and Teddy.
Yeah, this is an early game masterclass for T1 at the moment.
This is sort of what I was mentioning. Remember, Afreeca, they have to go in. They have to fight. And when you take it in this kind of an angle, it's really hard for some of Afreeca's members to actually get in here because of the way the terrain is. And it's just such a nice fight. Like you mentioned, the Phalanx was eventually formed. Ran down Kalista, not enough to kill effort. Cuz tries to get there with the undertow. And honestly, he's been so great with these axes. He flashes forward.
He hasn't
for the
missed
slow.
one, I don't think, all game.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Been pretty impressive. And when LS is congratulating someone for an Olaf performance, you know that it's a pretty special time. So Cuz still 100% kill contribution here at 3-0 and 6. 4-0-4 Faker not found, however, we certainly have. So it's not really
8 more kills, Atlas.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
right
get them
now,
this game.
15 seconds until Afreeca could really try to just spoil a Faker's day.
Yep.
Although we haven't had a surrender vote in a very long time.
You have 5 seconds. As long as it's unanimous, we might be out of here early.
All right.
I don't know whether that's the case. We've never had a 15 minutes surrender.
No, that one's never happened
ever.
in pro play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Used
that
to happen
one.
a whole lot more than it does now.
Yes, surrendering used to be very common back
Yeah.
in the day in Korea.
M5 loved surrendering. They'd surrender any game that they were behind in just to make sure that they didn't mental boom. I actually quite like the idea.
I'm not totally sure what... I suppose it stopped because it's frowned upon, right? You can get fined.
It just sort of feels like, you know, every game is winnable, so you may as well try, right?
Well, slow down there.
In theory,
Yeah.
every game is winnable.
I
okay?
mean, I do suppose.
Yeah. This cup is half full, remember?
I don't even see a cup. That's how full it is. It is just overflowing
Yep.
like a fountain.
As we'll see where Canna is going to go with his next item. The Athene's Unholy Grail already built up. The Forbidden Idol is there, but could be built into a bunch of different things, as Effort gets pretty annoyed by that minion wave turning up at the wrong time. And another tower will fall in favor of T1. Ragnarok is up and ready to deliver Faker's orb into the backline of any team fight that is going to happen.
The really interesting thing is, despite all the chaos that has actually happened in this game, the level discrepancy between champions is not really that bad. It's 1 level in jungle, 1 level in AD carry, and then
That's about it, right?
that is actually it. So Faker, you can also see, he's only like 11.5 Spirit, 1 camp away from hitting 9. This is absolutely not the end of the world in terms of levels, and that's one of the underappreciated stats that doesn't get talked about enough as we take a look at the total gold. Now that's a bit of a different story.
Yeah, Faker, Cuz, and Teddy certainly have a fair bit. Mystic is hot on the heels of Teddy at least, and he does have a pretty decent CS advantage over the T180 carry. Cuz going to throw down Shirley into the mid lane. She's going to pop up, probably take down this inner turret relatively easily, as T1 are pretty much uncontested at this particular point. Potential for a double charge, as you can see. T1 will be able to get this one. Shelly charges up, and in she goes. And that is so much damage onto the inhibitor turret.
Oh,
Yep,
man.
teleport to come through from T1. This will be a 5v5 as Fly gets into the front line, has himself the Cosmic Radiance as well. There's a 3-man Shockwave in the backline, will even out the odds, but Keith destroys Teddy in the backline, and now Cuz wants to try and turn it. A big shield comes in from Canna and Faker combined.
Oh!
It's a 3-man face breaker, Haymaker over a lot of them. 3-man knock up in the backline
What?
as well from the Afreeca Freecs. They are turning it on its head. The Fate's Call, fantastic, as Mystic now does have the damage, but they still want to respect Faker, as him and Cuz are still in this one, as Mystic flashes after the god of the mid lane and will take him down. Afreeca are back on the board.
Afreeca are back in this game now. They're going to get a Mountain Dragon. This is very akin to how T1 lost in the Kespa Cup, where they're pushing a neutral objective when an infinitely more important one is coming up.
Yep.
Posturing for basically nothing. Take a look at this. Dragon's about to come up. Tier 3 inhibitor turret doesn't mean anything. They let themselves get flanked from multiple... Well, I guess it's not really a flank, just their positioning sucks. Keen ends up getting on to Teddy, and there was just nothing for him to do. And when you can't hold the Phalanx with this comp and kite backwards with the Mantra E from Karma, the command dissonance from Orianna slowing down the enemy team, the undertows, etc., then yes, Afreeca can dive the hard carries with Kalista just raining down so much damage onto your team.
As Faker dodged so many things, but unfortunately couldn't dodge that Pierce, as Mystic was able to chase after the Orianna and take her down. It was honestly basically over when Keen had managed to just get into the backline and destroy Teddy. A non-factor in that last fight, which was why T1 weren't able to convert. Warmog's rush second on Cuz as well is really interesting.
Well,
are you all right?
I see a book and I'm trying to think about it, actually.
All right.
Trying to think about it.
I mean, there's natural healing from Jelly.
There is natural healing from Taric. It's also the Bork on the Kalista. There's Fleet Footwork on Set, plus Set's passive.
And Fleet Footwork on Keen, plus Akali's passive.
And also, I think the way that Orianna is fighting is very different. I think that there's a lot of value in ease.
Still want to land shockwaves
really
and dissonance on multiple people.
Yeah,
and
this is
command attack, very low cooldown, can be thrown around a lot in these fights. I think there's validity to it. As he's got a lot of cooldown reduction now as well with that Fiendish Codex, now built up. I believe has Transcendence available as well. If I look back and remember the runes. Teddy misses out on a cannon creep right there, and he needs all the CS he can get. As the total gold is the highest for Faker on Team T1. Teddy is getting up there, but he's still 1,000 behind Mystic, who has hit that power spike. He even has a luxury Executioner's Calling to lower the healing of Cuz and the entirety of T1, because of course there's an Ardent Censer and the Athene's Unholy Grail, so a lot of healing.
It's really big. Now the other thing about this is, right now T1 are just going to be waiting for the Mountain Dragon to come up, and it's really sad because they could have been potentially having a 24-minute soul point. And had they got that against the Akali Elise, it would just been, that would have been lights out.
Yeah, we were touting that this could have been over, right?
She
but it's definitely not now.
Blow her load and deal virtually no damage, and then be out of energy and be incapable of following up with anything.
It's the Akali without her kneecaps, of course, is what you're referring to. Does run out of energy very quickly. Spamming those Qs, so doesn't have the same level of consistent damage as she used to. Can certainly still one-shot your AD carry in the backline, though, if she has been relatively accelerated, which is the case for Keen. Well,
1.5 minutes until that does end up coming up. Warmog's completed on Cuz did just pass the 3,000 HP threshold.
Yeah, so has
for the Warmog passive.
Has that extra amount with that Cinder Hulk.
The heart.
Warmog's heart or something like that.
Is it Warmog's heart?
I think it's something.
Who
like
is
that.
Warmog?
I have no idea. Some guy.
Oh, was it a famous person from
idea.
season 1? Oh, okay.
Oh, it might have been one of those. It might have been one of the summoners.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Athene, of course, being one of them, probably the more famous. Morello, of course, being a very famous one.
And now look what they did to him.
Back.
His spirit, his essence, captured. You have to get the Orb of Oblivion to...
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter, and I haven't actually heard him tweet about his name being used in vain on this particular broadcast, but shout out to you, Morello, if you are, watching for some reason. Let us know what you think of how we've been treating your item, because maybe rethink.
Total Biscuit.
Yep.
Is an item, right?
It is.
Total Biscuit of Rejuvenation.
That's what the biscuits are called. They're actually, there are quite a lot of them. Ginsu. Yeah. Ginsu was one.
What other ones
I think
are
Madrid.
there?
Madrid
is Leandri a named person?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Well,
Majority of the items are
I would love to take that person out to dinner or something.
What about Jurim? I wonder if Jurim was
Oh, Juram?
Jurim.
Oh, is it Jurim? I don't even know. The reason that we're talking about items and names and stuff like that is because ping pong is...
definitely a thing.
Yeah, ping pong is the thing.
And T1, they want to move away from the ping pong to the river ram.
Here we go.
Yeah. We have started off this dragon in full vision of Afreeca. They have opted into the River Ram as the Shockwave is going to go wide. Repel, pretty good ability from Spirit, and that's going to keep him alive. Fly looking for another flank, but T1, they do disengage. And the River Ram is going to be put on hold for the minute as the K-Ram needs to come in.
I just had an idea, Alice. I want to pass it by you as we're still posturing a little bit.
Oh, Teddy was looking for a bullet time there. You could feel it.
Yeah. Oh. What do you think? Oh, hold on. We got some poke.
Jelly taking a little bit too much damage there. His command attack just out of range. And Fly, he's still getting into position, but unfortunately, might get converged on as Faker. Oh man, this is so much jockeying for position.
Yeah. This is a River Ram.
Yeah. Well, Cuz, he's got the command protect on top of him. We almost have the Shockwave back off cooldown. And it might be that Afreeca haven't calculated it entirely correctly. Teddy, a little bit away from his team, but can get over that wall, ready for a bullet time. And also moves pretty quickly with that strut available. It's T1 back to the K-Ram. They can't resist it. And they will be able to take down this control ward as well, as Cuz now has started off this Mountain Drake. Fly once again, looking to move on over, but will be spotted on the ward.
Oh, man.
T1 just going to rush this one down. They should be able to grab it as Keen dives into the backline once again. And he's immune as the Cosmic Radiance is on top of him, but has to go golden. And now T1's Phalanx has been repaired. Effort still not going down as the Haymaker. A lot of damage, but not quite enough as the healing and shields are just too big. And T1 have now started to threaten the Dragon Soul.
It's a very scary team fight every time, though. You can see that same song in a dance where Keen just runs at them like a kamikaze at the back line, saying, hey, I need to just delete your carries if you don't mind.
Yeah, and they put the Bastion on him to make sure that Cosmic Radiance always applies. I like the idea out of Afreeca for what they're trying to do, and we saw what happens if you get rid of one of their damage dealers. As Cuz taking a hell of a lot of damage, doesn't have Ragnarok, remember, as the Ren stacks do need to be respected. As Faker moves back to the mid lane, this is now time for Afreeca to move out because all of the wave clear is here, and he's booking it.
The really scary thing is that T1 are sitting on so much gold right now, so they need to recall, need to bring their champions back. I really like if Karma is going Rabadon's Death Cap because
flat AP
even
is
though
brilliant.
Kana doesn't have a lot of AP to amplify and thus deal damage to relative to Karma's ratios or whatnot, the shielding power is what you're going for there. As we see inside of the replay, Fly with, I'm not even going to call that a suplex. I'm going to call that what is it called?
A duplex.
No, when you, I forget. DDT?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. You lost me.
I mean, it looked like a headlock.
Like a headlock, but you bounce him into the ground.
Oh, I don't know enough about wrestling.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. If Papa was still here, he'd be able to tell you, like, riff with you about this all day long because he was a big fan of the wrestling. Often would spend time, would head over to Japan and watch the big famous wrestling matches over there.
Yeah. That actually has been importing some Western, I don't know.
I mean, Kenny Omega is super famous for being over in Japan, speaking fluent Japanese. Also commentates fighting games, which is super sick. As Cocoon lands onto Cuz, doesn't get his Ragnarok or anything like that, as now we're just going aggressive on T1's side. There's the Ragnarok. And Jelly taking the brunt of the damage, but Fate's Call is going to be there as Mystic looking to try and turn it around. Good knockup, but it's only onto Effort, and Faker just deletes them. Three-man Shockwave as the Superplex is coming in. Haymaker not necessarily working for Fly as he's taking too much damage in the dredge line. Will finish him off, and now Mystic just to try and get in there, but he's not going to be able to do it. Double Up is going to secure his fate as now Spirit running behind enemy lines. Owen Wilson here in the Afreeca Freecs jersey, trying to keep himself alive, but Cuz, with his two axes, not looking to let him.
Actually went over the wall the wrong way.
Spirit's not actually channeling his back. As Spider forms the extra movement speed, but T1, they're focusing on the Baron.
Effort?
Alright, never mind. He'll just be back into the mid lane. They spot him, and they know that they can just take this Baron as quickly as they want. They'll lock that one down at 28.5 minutes. 1.5 on the next Mountain Drake, and that will be Mountain Soul for T1. We have a look at this team fight once again.
Yeah. And Jelly, I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't cast the Taric ultimate, but maybe it's just because Akali and Set aren't there yet, but doesn't channel it at all until his demise. You can see Mystic tries to hop over onto the left-hand side, tries to give more people the Cosmic Radiance, but it just doesn't matter every time the Song and a Dance happens.
Yeah.
As long as T1 can assemble the formation, becomes so easy for them to pilot to victory, but that was such a disjointed fight that doesn't really reflect how some of the fights can end up going. Rabadon's Death Cap completed for Karma. Locket of the Iron Solari completed on Olaf. Definitely some really good builds coming out here.
Yeah. If only he could have an ornament as well. But no, he's just making sure that he has all of the shields possible in this game. And the Mantrid Inspire is certainly going to be very, very strong out of Canna at this point. Proccing the Ardent Sensor, doing as much shielding as possible due to the Rabadon's Death Cap, and just flat AP scaling working out so well when you are a utility / damage dealing mage. It applies to both the Orianna and the Karma, so I'd like to see Faker build Rabadon's Death Cap next as well, and he's going to. He's also going to try and kill Fly here, who's looking for a face breaker but will not find it. Faker doesn't manage to get the lockdown or the Super Soaker shot, but Effort comes in, and Depth Charge will guarantee the kill on the set. Keen split pushing. He's done with his game. He's just trying to win it by himself. Putting on a lot of pressure, though, as you can see, Afreeca moving their bottom lane towards top side, and they're not able to defend this inner turret towards the bottom side of the map. Effort and Teddy are in here. This 3v2, sorry. Might actually be a possibility for Afreeca as Cuz is going to move on up. Fate's Call gets a knock up onto Effort, but there's the bullet time to make sure that Afreeca can't continue this fight. Cosmic Radiance will keep Mystic alive as he's dashing through, trying to get these Ren stacks, but Effort stays in the front line so long. All the shields, and the bait from T1 is just beautiful. Faker comes in, keeps his support alive, and man, this is not the game for Fly at the moment. Also, Mystic getting baited into these fights. Oh man.
Fly is getting Fly swatted this game. As Faker, 5 more kills.
5 more kills, guys.
Says, yeah, I know. Just go slow. We got this guy
as well.
We got him. Okay. Eat dragon first. Or think to eat dragon first? Yeah, my translation sucks right there. But that's basically what he's saying.
Yep, something like that. As, yeah, 2 versus 5, even though the Cosmic Radiance was perfectly timed, not going to be able to save Afreeca right here, as that was really noisy. But it's okay. We are going to cancel that. And Mountain Soul now is going to be rotating around a T1 that have a 10,000 gold lead at 32 minutes into this game. And Rabadon's Death Cap done for Faker. 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. 7, 1, and 9. And even Effort has a bounty on his head right here.
Well, with the Dragon Soul, I think that's probably all she wrote. 2 of the champions now on the side of Afreeca are mostly invalidated. And also the fact that it's the armor that is getting the most benefit from the ramp means that Callista suffers that much more.
Yeah.
And it really is just looking like that's all that she wrote, Atlas, for at least game number 1.
I really like this T1 team composition, though. I want to talk about Canna a little bit, and the fact that he's shown even more versatility by being able to pick up this fully support champion after playing a lot of carries, a lot of tanks, and now more that utility support style top lane that we don't see so much in the current meta. Apart from, of course, the Sorakas, which have been hit or miss here in the LcK. Just showing another string to the bow of the rookie top laner for T1. A player that has so much scrutiny on his head. Top lane for T1 is just such a notorious role. And Canna really has come into his own and embraced it. So shout out to him. Faker 7, 1, and 9 so far this game. That Shockwave using Fly's Superplex to get a Shockwave onto 3 people in that team fight earlier on in the mid lane. I just want to go back to it because it was pretty damn cool. And Faker goes back to base and finishes off his Magi Soul Stealer because he's just that kind of guy.
Knight's Vow. Or actually, it was hovering the Dragon Soul. Now they're also hovering the Locket of the Iron Solari. This item is not built enough, and I don't know why. It is so much more valuable, oftentimes, than just picking up a...
Black Cleaver or something like that.
Something, well, no, not a Black Cleaver, Alex. Don't go that far. It depends. But
Okay.
other HP items, because you give not just effective HP to yourself, but also your teammates. And total teammate heals and shields.
Big number from the Tarek, but equally as big, if not bigger, from Kana. Karma has been getting
I
some
would
work
really
done.
like to see total healing done. I don't know why that isn't a stat.
I think it is. I think we've seen it
is a
before.
stat.
But we're not shown it enough, I don't think, as Squai. Looking for that flanking play once again as Mystic, just going to martial poise his way through this minion wave. And T1 just going to reform the Phalanx as we talk about. And they are going to be able to do that. Afreeca not wanting to take this fight. And Baron is now available. And Afreeca will need to fight on T1's terms. There are no inhibitors on the LS.
No.
So this is a fight against the clock more than anything else. As there's the Dredge Line onto Keen. But the Cosmic Radiance comes down and will keep him alive for quite some time after the Zhonya's Hourglass. Bullet Time is going to buy some space here as now they get to focus on the front line. Yeah, Fly should be taken here as the Dredge Line connects. Spirit going to be the first one to go down though as Faker gets his first kill. Should be able to grab a second as Keen finds himself as the only man alive. Dredge Line once again from Effort. T1, a star-studded performance across the board. They'll get the ace and they'll just win the game. They don't need no Baron.
Well, that flashing forward. Faker is so close.
I know, 9 kills in this game. Just needs 3 from game 2.
3 more in game 2. Magi Soul Stealer 24. And what a stomp in
Yeah.
game number 1.